Hi, so this video will cover the week 3 lesson, Skittles Erosion. So for this lesson, the biggest thing that you're trying to put in your kids' minds is the difference between weathering and erosion, which is that weathering happens in one place, rocks breaking down where they are. Erosion implies movement. That is, the pieces of rock that just got broken down are now moving somewhere else, and they're no longer where they are. So that's what you're trying to get inside of your kids' heads. For this one, really, really helpful if you have some kind of time-lapse video or before and after photos that will show them exactly what's happening to some rocks that are going through weathering or erosion. Yes, so visual aids are going to be your best friend with all of your second grade lessons. My second graders were always very visual learners, so anytime I could show them a picture or a video or something like that, it helped so much for their understanding and like really just getting like what I'm trying to teach them, because if you throw too many words at them, it's just going to be overwhelming, and that's not our goal. Our goal is to like help them have fun and learn something new. So your main vocab words are going to be weathering and erosion. Don't try to do too much with it. That's going to be enough to like keep them occupied and learning, is just like those two, and really focusing on the difference between them. So another thing you could do during the lesson part is have them compare it to something in real life where they, like, one quick thing you could do would have them like run in place as opposed to like running around, because running in place is like weathering, like they're working out in place. Running around is like erosion because they're moving around. So just try to reflect it back to something that they already know. That usually helps a lot as well. For the activity itself, so there's a couple ways you can do this. I personally like to give each pair, or however you're doing it, whether it's every kid or every pair of kids or every group of kids, they're going to have either a plate or an aluminum tin, something to hold the Skittles. Give them one of each color, only one. Because you're going to have them putting different amounts of water on each one, and it's easiest for them to see the difference if they only have one to focus on for each color, as opposed to having just a handful and kind of going wild. Like it's going to be way more focused if you just give them one of each color. Or I know some other TAs that will give one group all the red ones, and one group all the yellow ones, and one group all the purple ones. And then at the end, they show the whole class, like they line them up and they show the whole class the difference between the different colors depending on how much water was used. So this is important because another part of your lesson is showing them how different bodies of water create erosion. So like whether that be waves against a rocky shoreline or a river scraping away at the sides. You want to give them plenty of examples of different bodies of water that cause erosion and why we care about that. So yeah, again, you're going to want to have plenty of paper towels because this one can be a little messy if they spill the water on accident. It happens, but it's just always best to be prepared. Let's see what else. The biggest thing is there's that last part of the activity where they can try to prevent erosion. For that, if you want to do that part of the activity with your students, it's best to bring in materials for that. Don't expect there to be any materials around the classroom. So bring in like cotton balls or whatever, just stuff around the nucleus that you can find, to do that part of the activity. But for me, I found that it's more important to really get them to like start doing the science journals, like really hit that home because their first exposure to that. And then really focusing on the erosion part of the lesson as opposed to doing the preventative stuff at the end. So only do that if you have some extra time. And then make sure that at the end, after the activity, you're still having them go back and do their observations and conclusions, because those are super important, that they know that that's going to be a regular part of their science curriculum with you. So yeah, it'll be great.